Most sponsorship portfolios aren't designed, they accumulate. And that's why so many sponsorship strategies, they underperform. Opportunities come up, markets make decisions, deals get renewed, and over time, you end up with something that looks like a strategy, but does not perform like one. The issue usually isn't what you bought, it's how the portfolio is structured. When scrutiny increases, that's when the cracks show. We've outlined 7 common warning signs that show up in underperforming sponsorship portfolios. Here are 3 of them. The first is a lack of role clarity. If you can't clearly state what each sponsorship property is supposed to do, you don't have a strategy of a collection of assets. Strong sponsorships can contribute to multiple outcomes: penetration, pricing, acquisition, channel support, but one needs to be primary. Without that, activation becomes generic, internal stakeholders pull in different directions, and it becomes very difficult to decide what to cut and what to scale. The second pattern is a lack of concentration. Healthy sponsorship portfolios are intentionally skewed. A small number of properties should carry a disproportionate share of the value, the attention, and the activation support. In underperforming sponsorship portfolios, everything is treated as a priority. Budget gets spread, teams get stretched, and nothing is funded or activated at a level that actually ends up moving the needle. If your strongest platforms aren't clearly carrying the portfolio, that's usually where performance breaks. The third pattern is structural overinvestment in rights relative to activation. This is one of the most consistent sponsorship strategy issues we see. Across portfolios, activation typically trails rights investment and often by a wide margin. And when the gap gets too wide, you're paying for value you never fully realize. Rights create the opportunity, but activation is what actually delivers the outcome. If most of your budget is tied up in rights, what follows is predictable: generic activation, underused assets, and reoccurring conversations about whether the sponsorship actually worked. If you're seeing more than one of these patterns, the issue is not diagnosis, the issue is discipline. Discipline in how roles are defined, discipline in how capital is concentrated, and discipline in how rights and activation are balanced. That's what separates active sponsorship portfolios from high performing ones. If useful, let's book a short diagnostic conversation and let's assess where your sponsorship portfolio is today. And let's identify 2 or 3 moves that will create the most value first.